Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Bergina of the Autism Alignment Movement, as well as the collaborative, wonderful co-founders of the Autism Grind, Ms. Darria Boyd, as well as Don Allen. So we are coming to you to talk about some of our favorite topics, which are our children and family members on the spectrum and who have special needs. So we're talking about this not only from the perspective of being experts in the field, but yes, each and every person that you see right now has a child or family member on the spectrum, on the autism spectrum, and potentially other family members with special needs. So we've been getting a lot of questions from families about how to navigate things with the coronavirus. So we're gonna go and just share our collective wisdom and let you know how we're doing it and how we've seen other parents do it, because we know that each and every one of you can do this, okay?
That's right. That's right.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Mm-hmm. We're going to chop it up tonight. That's all we're going to do. Let's go.
All right. Well, Darria, I'm going to start with you since you opened up. So how are you explaining this to your children? What when they say, well, what is coronavirus? Or I saw a cute little meme. It was like, why are we staying home? And they said, well, it's because of the coronavirus. And she said, well, thank you, Mr. Corona. So how are you, which has a whole nother meaning.
Right. And not the beer.
So how are you explaining it?
Well, actually, I had a social story that was provided to me from especially Darria's teacher. Mm-hmm. And so we went over it, over the weekend. So knowing coming in on Monday, so I believe they were already prepared that they knew they wasn't going to go to school. And also I implemented a routine schedule. It's not exactly like school, but I just wanted to make sure that I just touch base on certain areas within school, like math, technology, reading throughout the day, and also PE. I'm an athlete, so I always have to make sure that they get that exercise. I'm an exercise freak, so that's what we did today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
How about you, Dawn?
So CJ is 17 years old. He is nonverbal and uses an iPad to communicate. So I find when the kids are younger, we have to provide that structure for them. When they're older, 17, CJ's looking for that structure. So when he gets up and something is out of line, he brings me his iPad. Okay, and he knows that when I bring my mother his iPad, he wants an explanation, just like any other person. Why am I not in school? Why did I not get up? I mean, he gets up in the morning, he'll go to the bathroom and he looks over at the clock because he's very fixated on time and structure and on the schedule. And he'll look at me and give me the iPad like, okay, it's 9:30. Why am I not in school? So I'll explain. So what I did was I put in his iPad that they're on break from March 16th to March 30th. And I told him, due to people being sick, because that is a word I knew that he can relate to. In regard to the coronavirus, I can't honestly tell you I said this is due to the coronavirus. But I did tell him that people are sick. Now, just like any other 17-year-old, he was ecstatic that he was not going to school once he realized he didn't miss the bus and that he will not be back in school till March 30th. But he did wake up with that instinct to say, okay, I missed the bus. Mom, what's up? So our morning looked like, what did we do yesterday morning, I had him get up, even though it wasn't a school day, and we focused on an independent life skill, which was cooking, right? Because he's transitioning to 21 soon. He's going to phase out of his school accommodations, and we need to focus on independent living skills. So during this break, however long it is, we will focus on that. So yesterday we focused on cooking. Today he did his laundry. And CJ knows how to do his laundry. He sets the washer. He knows how to set the dryer. So every day we're going to be working on a life skill. Are we following a specific structure such as school? No. But he knows he gets up in the morning, he eats, he'll play on the iPad for a little while, and then he'll do a life skill. So that's the structure that we're providing in this household.
And for our household, we have two children, and they're both on the spectrum, but they're very different. As far as the East is from the West on the perspective, that's how they are. Amir is mostly nonverbal. Japai is very, very verbal. So we're doing pretty much the same. So I'm not going to repeat our routine, but that we're doing pretty much the same with Amir's. But for the child who is very, very far along on the spectrum, who is very verbal, what we're doing for her, we had the privilege of homeschooling last year. And we set up her structure last year for homeschooling. So when this was happening, we just explained to her, well, first of all, we asked her, what do you know about coronavirus? Because I think when you have a very verbal child, and a lot of times in autism, anxiety kind of coincides, you don't want to introduce too much. And so you kind of want to gauge and ask, okay, well, what do you know? And so we engaged her in some dialogue to figure out, okay, what did she know? And it was some very, very basic information. And so we shared a little bit more than the basic information. It was more along the lines of social skills. It was, well, you have sinus issues and you're coughing and you have a runny nose and you're sneezing. You need to understand people who don't know you are going to assume she's sick. And it's, well, no, I have allergies. It's sinus allergy stuff. So I said, you may have to explain that, hey, of course, use universal precautions like everybody else is doing, but you may have to explain, I don't have a cough or a cold. I'm not contagious. I have allergies. And I said that may allay some fear, as well as in terms of the socialization, our kids have to learn to advocate for themselves from a social perspective. So just being able to say, advocate for herself and say, I don't need to be quarantined. I have allergies, and that's why my nose is running and why I'm coughing. And the other thing for her, again, because she was concerned, she had the opposite reaction. She was really like, I want to go to school. I miss my friends. I can't go see my friends. What's going on? And so we're kind of in that area where people are thinking about the virtual play date. I heard that someone on Google Hangouts is talking about virtual play dates or things like that. So some of the teenagers and older kids are doing things like that to kind of stay connected and then get that information. So we do have to go back and follow up a little bit, because sometimes there's some misinformation that gets channeled between the kids. And we just try to say, well, yes, that's correct, or no, that's not correct. So.
Okay. Yeah. So, well, let me go and explain my day. I just answered the question of what did I tell my kids. So since you all elaborate on what you all did today, I'm going to go ahead and elaborate what I did today. Well, today, Darria and Dalton, for us, Darria is, like I said, they're so routine. I do have two on the spectrum as well. Totally different. My daughter is nonverbal, and my son, he's a little bit more verbal, and she asked for the school bus. And I, because I presented the social story to her over the weekend, both of them, just to go through it, I told her I had to remind her that, there's no school. So then she smiled, because Darria, the way her brain works, she believes she checks out. No school, I don't know nothing, I don't want to do anything. However, again, I still have to go through a routine. I do also wanted to implement life skills. Over the weekend, we did laundry. And like, for instance, today, we woke up, we had calendars. Both of them, after they ate breakfast, they was already at the table. So I have a calendar in the kitchen. So we went, what's today's date? The month, the date, and practice raising their hand, just try to keep it like a little school. Try to keep it fun, because I have little ones, 9 and 6, and just trying to make it fun. So then after that, we transition to math. Now I have to work with them separately. Can't work with them together. It's a disaster. So what I do, I let one do whatever they want to do, and then they each have their own room and they each have their own desk. So we go to their desk and we work on either math, at that time, both of them, and then we transition another time, technology. I haven't got the times, down packed, which we're going to do at a certain time. But today was just a trial and error. I know they like PE, like to go outside. So we went outside to the field. I let them run and play and told them it was recess, because my son, he loves recess. All he wants to do is go to recess and lunch. So he ate all day and he played.
Hey, I love it.
So, I just wanted to, make them feel comfortable, and not make them feel like something is wrong. Like, why are we out of school for a long period of time? So I don't know they really understood the social story, based on what the social story entailed, just saying that we out of school. and why and the reasons. But I just keep reading it to them, and hopefully they understand. But again, I have young ones, so at their age, they really don't I don't really think they care. I think they like being home.
And I like having ours home because I miss them. But I figured we would talk about the next big question that I've gotten from some parents, which is, what in the world am I going to do with my kids when they start getting bored? And how am I going to entertain them? And, you know, the longer isolation happens, or they feel like they're quarantined, they can't go anywhere. You know, what in the world am I going to do with our kids? So my next question is, okay, what are you guys doing with your kids? And what kinds of things can you do? And this is just in general. This is just kids in general, not just special needs. Our kids are like, I think all kids wants to play and have fun.
Yeah.
You know, our kids aren't any different than that. They want to play and socialize and have fun. Like you made a good example a couple of years ago. We talked, and you said, you know, our kids need love too. They want love and relationships just like anybody else's kids.
That's right.
So what do y'all? What kind of fun things are y'all doing with the kids to keep them from being bored, or do you need to keep them from being bored?
So with CJ, his idea of fun is using his iPad, and playing on YouTube. And that is his idea of fun. That is his leisure activity. He looks forward to it. He probably spends too much time on it. So what I'll do is I'll break it up for him. And CJ likes to be involved in household activities, family activities. It makes him feel like he belongs. So when my husband went to Sam's Club and he came back with all the items, CJ knows that he needs to go get the items out the car. He puts them in the refrigerator. He puts things away. So we try to keep CJ involved in our daily household activities and not assume that he cannot participate. So I find having him continuously involved in what the household is doing as a whole keeps CJ happy and involved himself.
And I've noticed something similar. We try to have, and it's a cross between the chore and the play, you know, because play is healthy for our kids.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun tonight. Everybody has something that they can do with dishes, and we'll trade off just to get everybody used to different things. But it turned into a fun activity because, of course, there was water splashing and bubble play. That was nice. But I think my daughter started out washing, then we transitioned, and I washed, she rinsed, and then the little one, we were trying to get him to help put them in the drain rack. So that was a neat little thing. But we also have an activity that we do every spring. So this is trying to keep things routine. One thing I'm sharing with parents, keep your normal routine. Things as much as possible as what goes on in your household. Keep your normal routine. Every spring we plant something. So we went to Home Depot today and we picked out those little plots where you can put the seedlings in, and we start our plants from seedlings here in the house. And then over time, we'll put them outside and we'll actually garden outside. But we go through the process of identifying the seeds of the plants and all that kind of stuff. And it's fun, you know, because again, one person gets to put the seeds in, another person gets to water them. And it's the gift that keeps on giving. So I will let you know how our tomatoes and squash turn out. Well, maybe we'll have a salad later.
And you know, Bergina, I think you touched on this earlier too. It's the time that we get to spend with one another during this time. You know, they're spending time with mommy. You know, he went to the store with mommy and he's planting tomatoes with mommy, and that alone, you know, is a leisure activity for them. You know, it's a feel-good activity because they're with mommy. You know, they're not with therapists, they're not with the teacher, they're not dealing with the hustle and bustle of getting ready in the morning or getting everyone to bed at night. It's a relaxing moment. It's fun with mom. It's leisure for everyone.
Yeah. I mean, that's a good way to put it. And like over here in my household, you know, like I said, I have two. And it's wonderful because it also allows them to work on their social skills together. You know, a lot of people ask me, now, how do your kids get along? Do they interact? And believe it or not, my kids really interact. I mean, they fight, they tussle. And, you know, with me, I'm a mom that wrestles. I mean, they jump on my back. You know, I'm rolling around. And, you know, for leisure time, like I said, I love to be outside. I love movement. You know, my son is very hyperactive, and he needs that input. He needs that movement. They're she's trained since she's a 10-year-old, like a pre-puberty stage. Like, I don't want to be bothered. I don't want to go out nowhere, but I make her, but I believe it helps their social skills with all of us, learning how to communicate. And I also make them communicate. I make Darria communicate. She's nonverbal. She has a device. I make her talk to her brother, vice versa. And it helps them learn one another even more. And just like I said, just be around that family, atmosphere. So that's what we do. We do a lot of working out. Today, Dalton jump rope in the kitchen. He's trying to jump rope. And, Darria, we went outside, played soccer, and, having Darria kick the ball and, try to stay focused in her motor skill, the movement of her body. But that's what we like to do. We like to play a lot, I'm a mommy that wrestles. It's crazy.
I will tell you, I saw this and I thought it was so cute. So now that you said that, I'm going to have to do it. But it was 10 ideas for kids to do on a rainy day. So if you're stuck inside. But one of them was to put the sleeping bag wrestle, where you put the sleeping bag over your head and you move all your furniture and make sure it's nice and safe. You put the sleeping bag over your head and then y'all try to wrestle because you're blindfolded and it's soft. And I don't know, we haven't tried it yet.
Well, no, we do it with blankets. Do it with blankets. We already do it with blankets. We already do that.
I'm gonna try. Well, we didn't get to go camping this year, and I told my husband, I said, "Look, we're gonna use this camping gear for something.
Yeah,
break out those sleeping bags. So we're gonna repurpose them. Go to the park right now." But that is a good thing. We still can't. There are some things that are closed, and that was another thing because I had a parent who kind of panicked a little bit because they do almost all of their social activities as well as learning activities. A lot of homeschool parents will use the library. Library's closed.
Yeah.
Right? Or they'll use aquarium or Discovery Zone. There are restrictions on some of those places. So it's, okay, what do I do? Where do I take my kids? But there are some places that you can. They're open air places, but state parks are open. There's lots of space between you and the next person. So you have to think outside the box a little bit. Lots of activities for inside the house. Of course, you go to your favorite search engine on that. But outdoor activities, I think, especially outdoor activities where there's open air and there's large areas for you to go to. I mean, hiking.
Go to the football field. I went to the football field today. Yeah. Football field. And actually, believe it or not, like it's the football field, high school football field. It had, it's the numbers, and the stripes, with the colors. So there, she loves point out color. So actually we was learning while she was playing. Yellow, she tried to say yellow, blue, red, and then the numbers, today I made Dalton focus, run to the 50-yard line. So he has to look and, and run to the 40-yard line, so he's learning his numbers while we out there playing or kicking the ball. So that's why I like the football field. I design it in a way where we can learn and also have fun.
I love that one. That's a good one. Yeah, we're gonna snatch that.
Yeah. No, it's actually good. And it's open area, and I ain't have to be close to nobody. So if somebody sneeze, we good.
You got 3 feet. You good. All right. Well, the last question I'm getting is because we all have the privilege in some way, shape, or form of being home a fair amount of time. We've restructured our schedules to be at home. Not every parent has that luxury, and I am having some parents who are saying, you know what? My kids are normally in school. I can't really take them to daycare. Daycares now have restrictions. Even drop-in daycares have restrictions on the numbers. Where am I supposed to take my child when I have to work? Some people are privileged to be able to work from home. So the last question is, how are you juggling working from home with your child being there? And what are some creative things you're doing or have heard done if you need childcare? Especially for our kids.
So,
go ahead, now you go.
Oh, no, I was going to say, so I'm working from home, but I'm kind of still, just like any mom, whether you have a child with special needs or not, keeping an eye out for what CJ's doing. And I'm basically using this time to kind of work and then have him follow directions. So, go get the waffles out the freezer, take the waffles, put it in the toaster, and giving him directions, teaching him how to cook and fend for himself, you know, he made bacon today. He made it in a microwave, but that's what he can do. He got his paper plate, his paper towel. He put his bacon down. He put it in the microwave and took it out. So I am working at my laptop while I am throwing directions at him. And so for my nonverbal 17-year-old, it works because I can talk to him and he will respond. I can have him doing an activity and get my work done at the same time. But I know not everyone is as privileged, you know, as such.
Yeah, yes.
Remember, CJ's 17, you know, and you know, he's 17.
That's right. We are on two different playing fields.
Right. CJ's 17, so you know, I try to push him to his potential, being 17 and building those independent life skills.
Exactly. Well, over here, I'm gonna be for real. Even though I am one who works from home now, like I said, they're here. I'm gonna keep it real with you. I lock doors around here. Now it depends on if I have a meeting, I have to get on a conference call. I have to lock the door. They will be fine. Sometimes I can hear Darria, hey, you know, she'll be all right. Dalton downstairs, I lock him downstairs in the basement. It's okay, all right?
Oh my goodness.
Okay.
OMG.
No, I'm just saying, the door's right there. But sometimes they can't hear all the noise in the background. You know, it might be 5 or 10 minutes, you know, and then, especially if it's like for a phone call, something like that. But other than that, you know, I also, like I said, give them direction. It helps with the auditorial processing, you know, where, hey, I can say, Darria, you know, quiet, you know, I try to say quiet, and then or calm voice, quiet voice, and then she'll stop. Now, it might only last about 2 or 3 minutes, but the fact that, you know, she's trying to understand, you know, what I'm saying, you know. But, and then, hey, sometimes I'm working, my son is on my neck, my shoulders. I've learned, I'm very immune to it now, I believe. But only if I have a conference call where I need to be on and here, I gotta lock the door. It's okay now. It's all right.
So what Darria is saying as well is that she has a wonderful, supportive husband at home, so she can lock the door before it looks like you just locking kids out. I'm trying to tell you, the vision looks bad right now, so I'm gonna clean this up for you. And what she's also saying is that in her environment with her kids, it's a safe environment. So you don't have things that they can chew on, eat on. We have ADT systems put in our home. I know I do. So if the front door opens, no matter what room I'm in, I hear front door open, patio door open. So these are the things that have been put into place in our home so our kids can walk around, have fun,
and I have
activities while we work.
And I have cameras. I have cameras in each room. So when I do put them down there, and there's nothing there, like you say, just a TV or whatever. Downstairs is a crash pad and you know, just jumping. But I have on my phone where if I'm on a conference call and I have to leave them in their rooms, I have the cameras where I can see what they're doing 24/7. Yeah. So, but that's very in between. I was being funny, but
worst case scenario, which people needed. They needed that because it's
worst case.
We need
it's okay. But the bottom, you gotta know your child. You have to know your child. I know Darria. She's looking at TV. She ain't gonna do nothing. She's in her room. She's not, and there ain't no but a bed and TV, and she's gonna be sitting there watching her, you know, TV. And Dalton, like I said, they're just watching TV. But if it's an important call, then I have to do it. But 9 times out of 10, they're roaming around, and like I said, they climb on my neck. I'm used to typing with them, so I'm used to it. Yeah. But then you say sometimes you can't do nothing. You gotta be real. I just have to wait, and I have to wait and be up at night. So now I have to transition and say, hey, majority of my work I have to do it at night. So now, like for instance, I'm gonna go to bed, take a nap. I have to get up in the wee hours of the morning and try to crank out some work. So that's what I have to do.
Yeah. And that's the real part, you know, so don't get it twisted. For those who are like, oh, they just stay at home and they just shuffle some things around. No, it's true. We talked about this a little bit offline. I woke up at 3 a.m. That's not typical for me.
Right.
But you know, I was basically tooling some things out. I had to come up with some planning work And so that's what I did, kind of early in the morning, went back to sleep for a little while, got up when they got up so that I was fairly refreshed. And then this morning we did our homeschool routine from before. My daughter immediately went to her books and her things. And for that 2-hour period that my husband and I needed to do some more planning, we kind of gave some instructions to Amir, where he has a series of ABA approved educational videos that he was watching. And so we would have him do something and then we come and reinforce. And then he'd do something, we come and reinforce. So we kind of did that post-pause thing until we were done with our work. And then we were able to do, like I said, the planning and the Home Depot run occurred in the afternoon. But that was because we had that system in place from before. So don't be afraid to use systems that you've used in the past that have worked for you. You know your children, you know what works, what may not work. But don't be afraid to experiment a little bit.
Yeah.
And use backup. I have backups for my backups. We have, and it's just a blessing that we actually have a young lady who is a special educator at one of the local schools, that when she's out of school, I also know that she's available usually. And so she'll meet with Amir periodically, like sometimes an hour a day, just to kind of, if I have a meeting, like you said, and I just, tomorrow I physically go into my office. And so at least for an hour of the time that I'm in my office, she'll be working with him. I ain't gonna lie, y'all, that mommy guilt kicks in sometimes. So, I was just like, okay, at least he's not.
What's the mommy guilt? I don't understand this mommy guilt. I can't do the mommy. What's the mommy guilt?
It's real. I am I'm in recovery, praise God. But I'm just saying, it was a very real thing for a while. I was like, oh my Lord, my child is just not getting what he needs. But I did have to kind of that's the last thing I'm going to say from a mindset perspective. Calm down a little bit. I love y'all's phrase, which is just like, keep it moving. You're just going to have to calm down a little bit.
Calm down.
I mean, they missed 2 weeks of school. Maybe they missed more than that of school. They have you. And I tell people a lot of times when they're in my program, you are the structure.
Yeah.
Schedules may change, teachers may change, curriculums may change, but your relationship with your child, they are going to look to you for the structure in their life.
Yep.
And as long as they know that mommy and daddy are good, they're good.
They're good. Yeah. And it's life, everything's not going to be structured. They're going to have to learn how to, adapt. And as well as parents, we have to understand that everything is not going to be the same, and you have to have enough confidence in yourself and believe in yourself that you are doing your best and you are providing the tools for your your children. So you just got to do what makes you happy and just do your best. That's all you can do. Some things you don't have control over. We didn't have control of this. So what you gonna do? So you just, like, what's my favorite word, Dawn? HAPPY. Just gotta find your happiness and make sure everybody is okay. As long as everybody's okay, everybody got the smiles, everybody vibing, that's all you can do. I'm not stressing myself. I can't. This is going to be a long, long journey. I'm not doing it. I'm not.
Right.
I'm not.
Amen. Go on and preach, girl.
Any last good words of wisdom?
I'm not. I'm trying to tell you. I'm not.
Happy place.
I'm not.
I think that, I definitely believe in what Darria is saying, keep happy, remain flexible, accept change. It's much easier said than done, but as long as we stay open-minded to the fact that we don't have control except for the moment that we're in, we don't give ourselves this false set of high expectations that we have to meet.
Exactly.
In regard to keeping our kids up to speed, because I know that's a big concern, there are a lot of resources out there. If you just Google, ABC, let's see, alphabet worksheets or math worksheets, there are things that our kids can do to stay on par with their IEPs, goals.
Yeah.
They say mommy is the child's first teacher. So I do believe that we can't sit around and wait for the schools to open. Mommy is our, the first teacher. And I tell everyone out there, take that challenge, teach your child, impress that teacher when you bring your child back to school and they still on target to completing those goals.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
You
will
know,
share oh, I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say, you know, you have some parents that believe that, hey, what I'm gonna do, you're gonna be a parent. If you're gonna do,
That's
you're gonna
right.
be a parent. You're
That's
gonna love
right.
your child, and you're gonna just provide the best for them. That's what you're gonna do.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, you can't, you know, take it to the point where, you know, it's like it's a shock or you zoned out. No, you're gonna be mommy. You're gonna be daddy. You're gonna keep doing what you've been doing. You're gonna love your child. Okay. You're gonna nurture your child, okay? And that's all you can do, you know. So I think sometimes they look too much in it, like, well, I'm not a certified teacher. Well, I'm not a certified teacher. I'm a parent, you know. So, you know,
And you
you
know
can
your
teach
child better than anyone as the parent.
exactly,
Amen.
and you can teach you know your ABCs, you know your 1, 2, 3s. If they doing ABCs 1, 2, 3, you continue to you teach them ABCs 1, 2, 3. You know, so you just try to teach them and then incorporate what they're doing into a life skill. I try to do that with everything, you know, in my household. You know, as Darria's getting older, I'm trying to implement more life skills in her routine, as well as Dawson. It's the simple stuff. Clear the table. You know, help me load the dishwasher. You know, sort clothes. I have a great video I'm gonna show that she's learning how to sort the clothes. You know, and then sorting what is categorizing. So you use the skills that is on the IEP, and then you implement it to a life skills. It's that simple. You know, yeah.
And the last thing that I was going to say, because I don't want to be remiss in saying this, I do know some parents have seniors. I am a parent that has a senior who at this point is thinking, am I going to have prom? Am I going to have the special dance? Am I going to, all of these things, they're getting out these notices, things are closing. So I don't know where your child is, but there will be some things that they're going to be told that they thought they were going to be able to do that maybe they can't. And there will be some grieving that goes along with that. Acknowledge the grief, acknowledge the fact that, you know, this is their senior year or this is their special whatever. I know there was a sporting event that was closed and some of the kids were very disappointed about that. You know, acknowledge it. Don't just gloss over it like, girl, we worried about a prom. We worried about Corona. Okay, no, like they're still children. And this is very important to them and these things are very real. And it is a real loss for them, just as like it would be a loss for you for something. So support them through that. But then find ways to make new memories. I am not promoting anybody go and watch this movie to scare yourself. I'm not, but it really was a good movie. But there is a movie called Contagion, and something very similar to this happened. It was on a much, much bigger scale. But there was basically a quarantine that happened, and the daughter was very upset because she missed out on an entire year of making special memories as a senior. And what her father did is invite one other child over after he had been screened, of course, and he gave her a prom in their living room.
Oh, that's nice.
Prom dress, a corsage, put music on, put his little eye, whatever, on, and gave her a prom in that room so that she would have that special memory. So again, you know your children better than anybody else. Some kids will be like, whatever, prom, I don't care. Other kids, it is going to be heartbreaking to them to think that prom was supposed to be next week or spring break and I was supposed to go to wherever. It was my senior year spring break and now I can't go and life is over. For a 17-year-old, they may feel that way. And if they do, find a way to make another very special memory. You know, again, if they're able to engage with them and ask them, well, what would you like to do? If you can't do what you really wanted to do, what could you do instead that may be able to create a new memory? So that's just my little thought about that, especially for our seniors in our high school or college age. Some of us have some college age kids. Who, again, their college is over for a lot of kids as of last week. And they were expecting spring break and it's not happening and they're quite disappointed. So again, you know, have a mini something in your neighborhood, in your community, with your family. Friends.
Well, that's what they say, be creative, you know, be creative and, you know, still be supportive. And then, you know, and also understand where they're coming from. You know, they want, you know, for them to understand they can come to you and then they hear you and, you know, and you give them, you know, the most constructive feedback that you can. But that's a tough one. That's a tough one.
All right, ladies. Well, I thought this was a good combo, and I hope this is helpful to some folks. And if you did have some concerns before you started, hopefully this allayed some concerns. And so if folks want to reach out to you guys, what is the best way to do it?
So they can go to our Facebook page, and the name of our page is the Autism Grind. They can drop us a message. If they want to speak with us one-on-one, they can like our page to follow the videos that we have as we are surviving this coronavirus. We've already been posting a few videos. We also have a page on Instagram. So the key is to follow the Autism Grind on Facebook and on Instagram.
Right.
That's right. You summed it up very well, Dar. Very well.
Thank you. Thank you. I try.
Professional and everything.
Yeah, yeah. And I like how she tried to have my back when I say the doors, lock the doors.
Look, I don't got no bail money for you, Darria. I had to clean up for you real quick.
No, but one thing, when they come to the page, they will find out that, hey, we keep it light, you know what I'm saying? But you know, it's sometimes you have to bring the humor in it, you know, and it's not that you're trying to escape the situation. There's sometimes it's nothing you can do, you know, and sometimes laughter heals. You know, laughter is very positive. And they'll find out that I am a jokester, you know, but I am about my business when it does come down with my kids. You know, I am on it, but I do joke a lot and try to get parents and people understand it's okay. We can breathe. It's all right. It's okay. Do your best. All you can do.
Amen.
All right. Well, thank y'all. Y'all are wonderful. I love it. I love it. Again, Don Allen and Darria Boyd from the Autism Grind. And for those who already don't know, you should know by now, this is Dr. Bergina. You've been watching us for 45 minutes.
Hey, but hold on, I got one thing to say. So, but Dr. Bergina, I need to make sure, are you preparing Mr. Amir on his skill set? Because he left Darria, you know, when he went to a different school.
We already have a play date scheduled for Wednesday. So, no, I'm just saying. Yes,
he might have moved.
Play dates,
he might have moved on now. I don't know. She ain't seen him in a minute.
So, Dr. Bergina and little Amir will be there on Wednesday. But yeah, for those, you can find me on all places, all social media, either under Dr. Bergina or Bergina Isbell MC. YouTube and the website are www.drbergina.com, and all other social media is Bergina Isbell MD. So please continue to send us your questions, your comments, and your concerns so we can address them, because that's what you like to do. You like to teach, you like to share. You like to make sure that y'all are living a life that is, what is it, HAPPY?
HAPPY. If they follow us, they will see. It's HAPPY. I'm going to find that HAPPY.
Amen.
I'm going to find it.
And thank you, Dr. Bergina, for having us. We appreciate it. It's great collaborating with you.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. And you'll be seeing some more collaborations from us. We can't share all of it yet, but it's coming down the pipe that we have been doing some work, some trainings that are going to be coming out. So those who are interested in sensitivity training, you were going to get the quad. We're missing one member of our quad.
Oh, and it's going to be legit. Yes, it is.
It is. All right, you guys, you have a very blessed night on purpose. Take care.
Good night. Thank you.
Okay, good night. Thank you.